This is Real Republican News, and I'm your host, Jason Mariner. Be careful. Watch what you say. If you say the wrong thing, we're going to punish you. If you don't believe what we believe, we are going to take actions to harm you. We might shut down your business. We might deplatform your business, even if it's a business that you use to feed your children. Even if we're doing it only because you said something that we don't agree with. That's now exactly what's going on in this country. It's happening to conservatives across the board. Conservative speech is being snuffed out quicker and quicker by the second, and it's being done by the radical left, the mainstream media, and big tech. If you dare say anything that does not align with what they want you to believe, you're a big bad white man, you're a racist, you're a xenophobe, you're a homophobe, you're a terrible person, you're an ignorant hillbilly. You probably have your house covered in Confederate flags because you're a member of the KKK. That's exactly what they are telling you. That is exactly why the silent majority has been labeled the silent majority. The silent majority itself has been convinced that this is the perception of the other side, because it is. You know why it's the perception of the other side? Because that's what the media told them. That's what big tech made them think. And if you think I made a mistake when I said made them think something, I meant it. Because they steer information in one direction. They tell you what's happening is true. They allow the spread of absolutely false information as it pertains to conservatives. They promote the stories that make us look bad, like what happened at the Capitol on the 6th, which was purely criminal behavior. It had nothing to do with real Republicans, and it had nothing to do with politics. The only thing it had to do with was people who did not care about the rule of law. But be warned, should you step out of line with your free speech that you're supposed to have and that's supposed to be protected by the Constitution, and if anybody messes with it further, we have a military that's supposed to protect us from those rights being infringed upon. We will deploy armed troops to our nation's capital to fight you even harder. That's exactly what's going on in America today. We talked about it yesterday. The governor of Illinois, now I must correct myself. I always promised that if I misspoke, said something that was untrue, that I would immediately correct myself. Yesterday I said that the governor of Illinois deployed 5,000 troops. It looks like it was 500. But to me, the difference is nil. It doesn't make a difference. Whether they deploy one armed troop to our nation's capital, 500, 5,000, or 50,000, it should not be happening, because the reason those troops are being sent to Washington, D.C. is to do one thing. It's to combat free speech. But they're painting a narrative that they're being used to fight disinformation. Now, what we've all come to learn, disinformation means me saying that I'm being censored. It means you saying that you're being censored. Disinformation might include you spreading information like, hey, I'm a Republican and I like it and I'm proud to be a Republican. That's what they're calling disinformation. These platforms have rules that you don't know about, so you couldn't possibly follow them. How could you be expected to follow a set of regulations and guidelines if you have not seen them or been told about them? All we know is that these platforms that you rely upon for your information, to get places to store your money, to run your businesses with, have complete control over your lives, and they can tell you exactly when you can do certain things, like maybe run your business like we mentioned, or simply speak freely. No one ever thought that we would have to deal with this as an issue in our country on American soil, that our rights would be attacked from within. And if you think that our rights are not being attacked from within, I urge you to look around. I beg that you look around. I plead with you to read the Constitution. These are documents, the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. That's how we became the greatest country on earth. Those documents are not being acknowledged, they're not being followed, and it's happening on so many levels right now. It's absolutely disgusting. If you know anything about history, you know that there has been a lot of sacrifice that's gone on into making America what it is. We've fought in wars to preserve freedom. We fought in wars to preserve freedom of other countries even. Yet, somehow our freedoms are being taken from within. And it's because there are simply men with too much power that are not responsible enough to wield that power properly. They've decided that it's their turn to decide how this country is run. They've decided that if they don't want a political candidate in office, they're going to deplatform that person. They're going to eliminate the competition for their candidate. They're going to stop running that political candidate's ads. They're going to stop people like me who might support a real Republican candidate or become one himself. That's what they're going to deplatform you for. They're going to prevent you and step in your way from becoming what you want to be, from making this country the way that you want it to be, because that's the way America is supposed to be. We say this over and over again on the show, but this is a government for the people, by the people. And you can interchange them: by the people, for the people, by the people. But the point is, we get to create our government. We get to vote on laws. That's what we're supposed to do. And that is not happening anymore. Look at Pennsylvania. They changed the rules about the election midway through the game without holding a vote, without telling you about it, without saying a word. They just did it. Look at what Facebook's doing to free speech. Now, they're conducting studies. They're conducting studies using their own people and their own money and their own liberal organizations, and they're paying other liberal organizations that they're friends with to hold studies. And those studies conclude that there is no censorship, that there's no coordinated effort to silence the Republican and conservative voice in America. Well, I've got news for you. You can deploy as many troops as you want, and you will not stop me from saying that I am being censored, which is what you're calling spreading disinformation. It's not disinformation because it's true. You've deplatformed me off of Facebook numerous times. You even took down a breast cancer charity page because it belonged to me, a Republican, a real Republican. Someone who simply will not go quiet and allow you to steal rights from me, my family, my neighbors, people across the country that I do not know. I am one of the people in this country that will fight for freedom until the end. I will not sit silently by as our Constitution is completely disregarded by, again, people who just have too much power and control over the world. Jeff Bezos, for instance, he's the richest man on the face of this earth. As one of our friends, Tucker Carlson, put it, he sells brightly colored garbage from China. That's exactly what he does for a living. He supports the Chinese government. You know who the Chinese government does not support? The United States of America. You know who the Chinese government definitely likes a lot? Jeff Bezos. Guess who has now the most influence over our elections? Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey has the power to deplatform a sitting U.S. president for absolutely no reason. You can go on Twitter right now and find scores, hundreds, thousands even, of posts from ISIS about killing Americans. Horrible things, divisive things, things that will definitely cause people to get hurt. But somehow the same rules that apply to us, conservatives, real Republicans, they don't apply to the other side. They're being applied at will. Just like the rule of law in the United States of America, that's being applied at will also. Look at the president's son. Now, we say president, that's a very loose term these days, as of the 6th of last month, because that alleged president has turned into a king, and he's proven it every single chance he gets. And all he does is sign executive orders. Kings and dictators, leaders of totalitarian regimes, they rule by executive fiat, not presidents of the United States. King Biden is doing absolutely everything he can to undo every single piece of legislature and law and good thing that President Trump did for you, the American people, even though it's hurting you, the American people. They would rather try to punish Donald Trump, who's now a private U.S. citizen, even when it hurts you, even when it hurts your children, even when it hurts our country as a whole. They would rather spend your tax-paid dollars on a completely meaningless impeachment that's going to go absolutely nowhere. And make no mistake about it, this is costing billions of dollars. I'm sure the numbers are astronomical. They should have saved that money and distributed it amongst the American people who are suffering because we've lived through a year of a pandemic. But instead, they want to bicker so much that nothing actually gets done, that no one receives any kind of compensation for anything that's happened. It's an absolute mess. It's a disgrace. America is an embarrassment. Other countries are looking at us. Some of them are laughing. Some of them are loving what we're doing. But make no mistake about it, none of them are developing any more respect for us as a country as a whole. Vladimir Putin is sitting in his gold-gilded castle, clapping, laughing, because King Biden has made his reign of terror, his regime, his goals more possible, more powerful, stronger. Because what are we going to do next? We're going to send the production of fossil fuels over to the Middle East, which he will take over. It'll add to his bank account. It'll add to his goal of world domination. Same thing with China. There is absolutely nothing by this administration being done right now to help the American people. That's why you see me so angry today. I am watching this country be attacked by evil men with too much money. These are the people that actually have white privilege. They would like you to think that me, you, your neighbors, our law enforcement, our military, they would like you to think that they're the big bad white men, the ones with white privilege. No, the ones with white privilege are the ones that are telling you people have white privilege. The ones that are racist are the ones that are telling you that other people are racist. The ones that are telling you that this country is systemically racist, those are the people that are racist. Systemically racist countries don't elect black presidents or non-white vice presidents. Get over the race card. We're on to your games. It's to divide and weaken the American people. This is our time to stand strong, stand tall, and scream as loud as we possibly can that we will not take this anymore. We're not going to sit down, lie down, shut up, be quiet, be intimidated into not saying that we want to keep this country free and our Constitution intact. That's why the silent majority, the 150 million of you that are sitting at home crying because you see your country going away, that you stand up and do something. This is not time to complain. You see the snowflakes on this tie? That's a tribute to the people that yelled at the sky and cried and asked for safe spaces when President Trump was elected. We don't do that. That's not what real Republicans do. That's not what conservatives and patriots do. Do you think our founding fathers needed safe spaces? Do you think our founding fathers complained? No. They said what was going on. They told people there was a problem, and they committed to them that they would take steps to change it. You know what else they did? They asked for their help, too. That's what we're asking you for as well. We're asking that you sign our petition. We're asking that you get up off the couch and tell people what's going on. We're asking that you engage with us and stop remaining silent so we have a fighting chance of saving this country, saving our freedom, saving the freedom of my children and yours. This is not a joke, people. This is the most serious thing that this country has ever faced. This is the biggest threat we've ever had to live with. And if we do not step in the way of the men, the privileged white men that have too much money and too much power and too much control, if we don't stop them now, we will wind up in a position where we lose this country forever. So don't be a snowflake, don't be a whiner, don't be a complainer. If you have something to say, say it, and then commit to doing something about it. That's what we've done. RealRepublicanNews.com, there's a menu button on that webpage. You can click it and you can sign our petition. That petition is so you have your free speech rights back. That petition will ensure the freedom of generations to come. That petition will clear up some of the questions that 75 million Americans have about the last election. That petition is also going to take men like Jack Dorsey, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, and we're going to regulate them. We're going to cut them down to size so they can't hurt you anymore. They can't touch our Constitution. They're going to be held accountable for the things that they do, like shutting down businesses and taking away people's livelihoods and constitutional rights. Once that happens, they'll go bankrupt very quickly. And new platforms will spring up that actually care about people, that actually want people to have real information, that actually want people to engage with each other, have open debate, bring this country back to a place where we can say, you know what? You have your beliefs, I have mine, and it's okay. Forget the unity thing. It's a lost cause. We don't need it anyway. All we need to do is find that place in our hearts where we can accept someone else who doesn't believe what we believe, but still realize that we're Americans above all else. That's my call to action to you. Sign the petition. Do something yourself. Take up a cause. But you have to do something other than complain about what's going on. Remember, our founding fathers were not complainers. They were doers. They took action. They made change. They saw a problem and they fixed it. They fought for freedom at all costs because they knew it was the most important thing they could possibly fight for. End of story. Until next time, which there will be one, because I'm not going to be shut up, ever, by anyone. I don't care how many troops they deploy. They can send them to my parking lot. They can send them to my house. They can do what they want, but I will not stop delivering this message. I will find a way to reach you, and I will also find a way to effect change and ensure that we have our constitutional rights back intact, in full, forever. And then after I do that, I am going to stick around to make sure nobody circles back to try to take them. My name's Jason Mariner. I'm the host of Real Republican News. I encourage you to visit RealRepublicanNews.com, sign our petition, get behind the cause, take an action step to help save this country. Until next time, God bless you, your families, the United States Constitution, and everyone around you. Be well, America.